People feel proud and contented when they have done work that impresses themselves.
这一个就是什么 ？Grammar. Okay. So first, people feels.
People feel.
Why do we not add an s? 这个叫做 subject-verb agreement. Subject and your verb has to agree. So why right now it's not agreeing because people is plural, right? So you just need people feel proud. People feel proud and content.
Feels very stressful when you are overwhelmed by tasks.
So what I would do is in the future, 以后都不要再讲 very 了。Right? Very 是一个写作里面一个大的禁忌，就是 very 什么一定有一个字 ，right? Very 什么一定有一个字去讲 right? Unless you really need to say it, try your best not to say it. Now, if you get the adjective here. Feel stressful when you're overwhelmed by what tasks? Right? 那你就可以讲更多了， right? 而不是卡在前面，然后后面讲一点点而已。So, what do you think? What can we put here?
Long and complicated tasks.
Yeah, and there was one word. So 你看你又是少了 adjective. So I remember our first class or second class. We had this one word that means something that is very boring and dull. And if you keep doing it starts with a T.
Tedious.
Right? Feel stressful when you're overwhelmed by tedious tasks. And this is what you need to get better at, right? You keep thinking of easy words. And so you just need to think of those words and then take one more step. One more step and ask yourself, do I know a word that maybe includes these feelings? 那没有，你就把那些简单的字写出来，没关系，我们慢慢的改。可是写作要进步，就是慢慢的要把这个我们叫简约化。But then when you make it simpler, it doesn't mean you make it easier. Right? When you read poems, there are less words, but some are actually getting more emotion, more description, more imagery. And you're asking yourself, how is that possible? There are less words. Well, the answer is the words. You're choosing better words. All right, next.
People have different perspectives on things.
All right, 好，这个又是另外一个，所以我们今天学到了 avoid, very, and then 还有 avoid 什么？
Things.
Exactly. Avoid things. Make that your own rule. Right? Everyone has different rules when it comes to writing, when it comes to talking. Right? That's why you're different than other people. So make that one of your rules. And there are many other ones. 其实我有给过你一个 tip， 就是 ing 也要尽量避免 ing。但其实 thing 其实就是一个 ing 的字，如果你没发现的话。So 其实 ing 里面就是提醒你 thing 也不要用。Right, next.
The milk that you buy, and similarly bad, the apple juices and the lemonades and the energy drinks and the orange juice. 尤其是这两个牌子，就是这个 Minute Maid 跟这个什么 Daily 什么的。We see this all the time. Right? These are always in the supermarkets, and if anything, schools might even give you this and say, here's your healthy lunch, right? Part of your lunch. So looking at the cubes is one thing. Now looking at these bags is another. If you ask me to, I don't think I can even do it. Everything is bad, right? Like these things that kids drink, those little cartons, and they seem so cute, and they seem so friendly, but it's a quarter bag of sugar. So no way. So this article is pretty straightforward, right? Persuasive article, and the message is very clear. Do not think juices are healthy, and then she might provide some reasons and solutions at the end. So seriously, juice is not healthy. That's the title of the article, and you can tell by the picture. Alright, let's go. First page.
Obesity affects 40% of adults and 90% of children in the United States and accounts for...
What does obesity mean?
Obesity? I don't know.
Okay, so let's... you don't have it printed. Okay, so first word, obesity. If you don't know, I want you to stop. Okay, if you don't know a word and you're reading, you just can stop. Hey, teacher, can you tell me what this word means? Or else, how do you get started? Right, so what do you think it means? Obesity affects 40% of adults. and 19% of children in the United States, and accounts for more than $160 billion in healthcare spending each year. So it must be something bad, right?
Yeah.
好，那你把它 put together. Something bad and affects kids and adults, and we're talking about juice and we're talking about sugar. What is obesity?
Like you eat too much sugar and it's a type of maybe like illness.
Yes. And it's not the illness you're thinking about. 高血压，不是高血压，也不是糖尿病。It's actually 肥胖症. Okay? So obesity just means fat people. Okay, obesity just means it's like a nice word, scientific word, medical word, because you don't want to just call them fat. And it's because of the McDonald's, because of the juice, because of all these unhealthy things that they eat. Alright, so that's first we have to know. Obesity. Look at this. A disorder in weight. A disorder in weight. Overweight. Fat. Obese. So obesity is a noun. Now, 我们如果要用 adjective, 就是用 obese. Okay. Keep going.
United States and accounts for more than for more than 168 billion in healthcare spending each year.
Dollars,
Sugary.
Right, if there's a dollar sign, make sure you read dollars at the end. Yeah.
Okay. $168 billion in healthcare spending each year. Sugary beverages at the beverages, just drinks. Just it. Okay.
饮料都是 beverages. You have to know this word. Okay, go.
Are thought to be one of the major drivers of the obesity epidemic. Okay. So what is like epidemic?
Good. So 这个字你也应该知道 because COVID is a pandemic. And COVID 听过那个 pandemic 对不对 Pandemic. So it started off as an epidemic. Okay, so a virus, when it spreads in a community, it's called an epidemic. And then when it gets global, when it gets worldwide, it becomes a pandemic. 所以这个字很多人透过 COVID 有把它学起来 and when there is a spread of something bad, right, you can say there is an epidemic of something. So you see here, obesity epidemic in America. A lot of people are fat.
Okay. These drinks, think soda and sports drinks, are the largest single source of added sugars for Americans and contribute on average 145 added calories a day to our diets. For these reasons, reducing sugary beverage consumption like eat and
wasn't consumption a word from last week? Didn't you make a sentence? Consume? Yeah, consumption means to eat something. Yeah. Alright, I'll put the words. Is the word on the right here? Yeah, consumption. Take in and eat.
Has been a significant focus of public health intervention.
Intervention means getting involved, right? So governments are now focusing on how to help these people. Intervening. Okay.
Most effectors have focused on soda, but not juice.
Most efforts.
Efforts have been focused on sodas, but not juice. Juice, for some reason, gets a pass. It's not clear why.
You understand now?
Yeah.
The problem she has is, why is the government, if you know there's a problem, why are you only focusing on this, right, which is sodas? Why are you not also looking at this, which is juice? And so that's why she's writing this article. Okay, so it's unclear why. Now she wants to explain to us why. Let's go.
Americans drink a lot of juice. The average adult drinks 6.6 gallons per year. More than half of preschool age children, ages 2 to 5, drink juice regularly. A proportion that, unlike for sodas, has not been budged.
Has not budged in decades.
Okay.
Which means moved, right? 他说 unlike sodas, 它的意思就是什么 ？Sodas, 如果你看 last years, it's been going down. People understand it's unhealthy, but not for juices, right? So she's stating that by using this has not budged in recent decades.
Okay. In recent decades, these children consume on average 10 ounces per day, more than twice the amount recommended by the American Academy of Pediatrics. Simple
translation, child's doctor, right? 小儿科 or 儿科 in English. Have you noticed that in Chinese? Like certain doctors is very easy to understand, right? 眼科、耳鼻喉科、骨科. But then when it comes to English, do you know like they have like really weird names?
Yeah.
I think, like pediatrics for 小儿科. What do you call a tooth doctor?
Dentist.
A dentist. Do you know what you call a skin doctor?
No.
Dermatologist. So dermatologist is like skin, and then eye doctor. I
don't know.
Optometrist. So OPT, right? So you actually get to learn prefixes and suffixes, which is roots. So OPT just like eyes, right? Now, what was another one? Derma for skin, and PED usually refers to like foot or children, right? Foot or children. So these are like you just have to get over when you're going into the English world. Those are some of the hard things that people have to kind of memorize. Kind of like, you know, it's a good example. Kind of like when you first learned the months of an English. Do you remember how hard that was? Like, why was 2月不就叫2月, right? Why is it February? Why is it March? Why is everything different? And also Monday to Sunday. Those you have to memorize. But in Chinese, those are just easy. Those are just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You just count, or there's some sort of number association. So there's something pretty interesting there when it comes to learning English and being Chinese. All right, pediatrics, Erica. Let's read one more paragraph. We might keep this for next week. Let me just see how many words we have. 1, 2, 3, 4 here. 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. Alright, let's do this. Let's finish this page. You do all the words for this page only, and we'll finish the last page next week.
Okay.
So let's just read all the way to the end. Don't worry about the words. I'll send it to you at the end of class.
Parents tend to associate juice with healthfulness and are unaware of its relationship to weight gain and are reluctant to restrict in their children's diet. After all, 100% fruit juice sold in handy individual servings have been marketed as a natural source of vitamins and calcium. Department of Agriculture guidelines state that up to half of fruit servings can be provided in the form of 100% juice, and recommended drinking fortified orange juice for the vitamin D. Some brands of juice are even marketed to infants. Government programs...
Infants, just babies.
Okay, infants. Government Government programs designed to provide healthy food for children, such as the special supplemental nutrition programs for women, infants, and children, offer juice for kids. Researchers have found that children in the program are more likely to exceed the recommended daily fruit juice limit than those who are similarly poor but not enrolled. Despite all the marketing and government support, fruit juices contain limited nutrients and tons of sugar. In fact, one 12-ounce glass of orange juice contains 10 teaspoons of sugar, which is roughly what's in a can of Coke. Drinking fruit juice is not the same as eating whole fruit. While eating certain fruit like apples and grapes is associated with a reduced risk of
diabetes. 这个是糖尿病 diabetes.
Drinking fruit juice is associated with the opposite. Juices contain more concentrated sugar and calories. They also have less fiber, which makes you feel full. Because juice can be consumed quickly, it is more likely than whole fruit to contribute to excess carbohydrate intake. For example, research has found that adults who drank apple juice before a meal felt hungrier and ate more calories than those who started with an apple instead.
Okay,
Children who drink juice. Okay.
And the easiest example to think of is, just think of this, right? Is it hard to eat 10 apples?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very hard to eat 10 apples. But is it easy to drink one apple juice that contains 10 apples? Right? So
yeah.
That's a good example to tell yourself, yeah, I can drink it, but is it good for me, right? I don't want 10 apples full of sugar in my body and just for a meal that doesn't even make me feel full. So over time, right? This is all important. Over time, 这个会累积, right? And you accumulate, we use that word, accumulate the excess fat and sugar, so people maybe become fat later on in their lives. The word is up to excess. Let me find, I'll send you all these.
Okay.
Okay, so homework this week, no persuasive essay, just practice these sentences.
Okay.
Words above, and then 2, use these words to make a creative, descriptive story.